Alright, this is a review going back to the first 5 weeks. So this will be brief. It's just a few slides from what we talked about in class. As in all networking, you need to know the OSI model, and we talked about splitting that into the TCP IP model. We talked about UDP and TCP traffic, which you should be familiar with by now. We talked about the layer IP addressing best path, where we create a packet, we create a segment, then we create a frame, Ethernet and the MAC, and of course, we've got 802.3, 802.11. They're not the only ones, but they're the most common for local area networks communication. Then the physical layer, we put the bits on the medium. We talked about the ability to be flexible, resiliency in a network, modularity, to be able to put different modules in the devices. Being hierarchical, in terms of networks, for example, we have a switches here, and then the router, and then here, so we really got a hierarchical. We have the core layer here, the distribution layer here, and then we have the access layer here, switches and access points. A lot of times you might think of it as a line where you get access in and access out. And this is really depicting NIACC network here. We talked about converged networks, the complexity of networks. And converged here, we have voice, video, data, etc., all running across the same network and doing that efficiently. Talked about policy at the distribution layer. We'll be starting working on access control lists, being able to filter traffic. We want to do that at the distribution layer. We don't want to be doing it at the core layer. We just want to be moving traffic, and we just want to be able to move the traffic at the core layers. Here you can see the distribution layer again. Here in the college as a whole, we got a multi-layer switch here for distribution. We have servers here. College, same thing. They have servers, they have access points, servers here, access points, and we have the same way in which devices get in at the access layer. So, is the network flexible? Can it change? Is there resiliency in terms of, if one area goes down, another area takes over, and so forth. Signing in, we talked about the syllabus, NET-200 review. We covered a few things on review of that. Routers and switches, do a lot of work with VLANs in the course. And we talk about circuit switched and packet switched. The difference, you create a circuit between two locations, or as the internet works, you can put a packet in. That packet can move, packets can move a variety of ways before they come back out. And we can frame relay packet switched also. It's an efficient way to use the network. Yeah, to finish up here, we designed here another situation where we talked about the access layer. We have this place where people get access in. And then we have the distribution layer where policy exists. And then we have the core layer where we move the traffic in the core. In this case, we show a data center over here. And in here, we show the ability to be redundant. If one area goes down, we can access the others. Up there, the core. And so we talked a little bit about our network here at the college. You know, we have a switch, we have a gig connected to a multi-layered switch, and from there we have work server 1, the multi-layered switch, layer 2 switching, we have the PCs in the room, we've got here where we connect in 100 million gig connection here, and then we have other switches connected, and then this works its way out. Talk about the physical, actually talk about a packet, and then we talked about switches, store and forward, cut through, and how switches handle the data coming in and going back out. There they can check here, they can just look at the next address and push it through. And we talked a little bit about history. We talked about hubs and how a hub sent traffic out everywhere. Then pretty soon we had a bridge that connected, you know, a hub over here and a hub over here, and now we have a switch. And that's it for a little review of those first few weeks. Most of the material in there is covered in the curriculum.